Tales told in Granny T's fort. Oliver and the Yes Collector. The blanket fort felt extra warm tonight, the kind of warm that made your eyelids heavy before you even yawned. Peyton was already settled in, her pillow hugged close like a safety shield. Roland had tucked himself into the quietest corner where the fort wall dipped low and the shadows felt gentle. Jesse was trying to be careful with his sleeping bag zipper. He was doing it slowly now, like he remembered the cooling stone, even when nobody said anything. Oliver crawled in last, not because he was slow, because he was checking. He fixed a pillow that wasn't his. He scooted a sleeping bag so nobody's elbow would touch anyone else's. He pulled the blanket wall down where it had slipped, making sure the fort stayed snug. Then he sat in his sleeping bag and smiled like everything was perfect. Granny T ducked into the fort and lowered herself into her cozy chair. The lantern rested in her lap, unlit. Granny T watched Oliver for a moment, not in a suspicious way, in a noticing way. "My sweet Oliver," she said softly, "you've been very busy tonight." Oliver's smile didn't change. "I'm fine," he said quickly. "I just want everyone to be happy." Jessie frowned. "I'm happy." Peyton whispered, "I'm happy too." Roland said nothing, but his eyes stayed on Oliver. Granny T tilted her head. "Are you happy?" she asked. Oliver blinked. His smile wobbled for half a second, like a candle flame in a breeze. He looked down at his sleeping bag. I don't know," he whispered. Then very quietly, "I don't like when people are mad." Jessie's face softened. Oliver's voice stayed small. "So I try to fix it," he admitted, "even if it's not my fault." Granny T's eyes turned extra gentle. "If today felt too big," she said softly, "we'll make it smaller, one story at a time." Oliver's shoulders dropped, like he'd been waiting for permission to stop holding everything up. Granny T turned the lantern's knob. Click! Golden light bloomed inside it, slow and calm, like a sunrise that didn't need to hurry. And just like that, the story world woke up. The fort felt bigger, like it could hold Oliver's kindness without letting it crush him. The air smelled like warm bread and clean sheets and something sweet like vanilla. The lantern glow spilled onto the floor, and the shadows shaped themselves into a soft little path. Granny T's voice became the story. "Tonight," she whispered, "I'm going to tell you about a boy who gave away all his yeses." Oliver's eyes widened. "All of them?" Granny T nodded. "Every single one." The lantern pulsed once, and the story began. The boy who gave away all his yeses. Once upon a time, in a town where the sidewalks were made of smooth white stones and the gardens bloomed in every color you could name, there lived a boy named Oliver. Oliver was kind, not just shares his snacks kind. Oliver was the kind that made you feel calmer just standing near him. He didn't like arguments. He didn't like sharp voices. He didn't like when people's faces looked tight and unhappy. Oliver liked peace, and Oliver was very good at making peace. So good, in fact, that the town began to rely on him. At first, it was small things. "Oliver, a baker called one morning. Could you help me carry these loaves? Oliver smiled. Yes. Oliver, a garden asked, could you water my flowers? I'm late. Oliver nodded. Yes. Oliver, a neighbor said, could you watch my little puppy for just a minute? Oliver's eyes softened. Yes. Every yes felt like a tiny ribbon tied around his heart. Oliver liked being useful. He liked being needed. He liked knowing he could make things better. But then the requests grew, bigger, heavier, more constant. One day, Oliver was walking home with a basket of apples when someone called out, Oliver, can you help me find my missing hat? Yes, Oliver said immediately. Before he could take 2 steps, another voice called, Oliver, can you come settle an argument? We can't agree. Yes, Oliver said again. Then another, Oliver, can you carry this box? Yes. Then another, Oliver, can you help me fix this? Yes. Oliver's basket slipped. Apples rolled across the stones. Oliver scrambled to gather them, cheeks warm, smiling too hard. It's okay, he said. I can do it. But inside his chest, something felt tight. Like his kindness was being stretched thin like taffy. That night, Oliver lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His body was tired, but his mind kept buzzing. Did I help enough today? Was anyone upset? Did I fix everything? Did I make anyone mad? Oliver rolled onto his side. Then he hugged his blanket close. And that's when he heard it. A soft sound near the window. Not a scratch, not a creep. A tiny tink, tink, tink. Oliver sat up. On his windowsill sat a creature he had never seen before. It was small, about the size of a teacup. It had fluffy ears like a rabbit, a long tail like a cat, and tiny wings that looked like folded paper. It wore a little vest with pockets, and hanging from its neck was a necklace made of tiny golden coins. The creature blinked at Oliver, then smiled. Hello, it chirped. Oliver stared. I? The creature hopped onto the bed, light as a leaf. I'm a yes collector, it said proudly. Oliver blinked. A what? The creature puffed out its chest. A yes collector, it repeated as if that explained everything. Then it held up one of its little coins. Oliver leaned closer. The coin wasn't plain gold. It had a word stamped onto it. Yes. Oliver's stomach fluttered. The yes collector's eyes sparkled. I've been following you, it said happily. You give away the best yeses. Oliver sat back. I do? Oh, yes, the creature said. You hand them out like candy. Oliver's cheeks warmed. He didn't know if that was a compliment or a problem. The yes collector hopped closer and jingled its necklace. Each coin chimed softly. Yes, 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 it sang. So many yeses. Oliver frowned. What are you doing with them? He asked. The yes collector tilted its head. Keeping them safe, it said. Of course. Oliver's throat tightened. But don't I need them? He whispered. The creature blinked innocently. You always say yes, it asked. So I assumed you had endless yeses. Oliver's chest squeezed. He thought of the tight feeling, the tired feeling, the buzzing thoughts. Oliver swallowed. I don't, he admitted quietly. The yes collector's ears drooped slightly. Oh, it said, surprised. Oliver looked down at his hands. I want people to be happy, he whispered. I don't want anyone to be mad. The yes collector hopped closer, voice softer. Do you know what happens? It asked gently. When you give away all your yeses? Oliver shook his head. The yes collector tapped its necklace. You lose your no, it said. Oliver blinked. My no? The creature nodded seriously. A yes is a door, it explained, but a no is a fence. Oliver frowned. A fence? The yes collector nodded again. A fence keeps your garden safe, it said. A fence doesn't mean you don't like people. Oliver's eyes widened. It means you have boundaries, the creature said, as if it were a magic word. Oliver's stomach fluttered. Boundaries. He'd heard grown-ups say it, but he didn't know it could be something kind. The yes collector reached into its vest pocket and pulled out a tiny wooden sign. It was no bigger than Oliver's palm. It had neat letters carved into it. Kind no. Oliver stared. A kind no? He whispered. The yes collector nodded. A no that doesn't hurt, it said. A no that doesn't yell. A no that doesn't slam doors. Oliver's eyes stung. I don't know how, he admitted. The yes collector's voice softened. Then you learn the collector's rule, it said. Oliver swallowed. What rule? The yes collector held up one tiny finger. First, it said, you pause. Oliver blinked. Like Jesse's cooling stone? The yes collector nodded. Exactly. It held up a second finger. Then, it said, you choose one of the kind no sentences. Oliver leaned in. The yes collector cleared its throat dramatically and recited, I can't right now, but I hope you find help. I want to help, but I need a break. Not today, maybe another time. I can do a little, but not all of it. Oliver's mouth opened. Those sounded safe. Not mean, not cruel, just honest. The yes collector smiled. You don't have to give away your whole heart, it said gently. You could give a piece and still keep the rest. Oliver swallowed. But what if they're mad? He whispered. The yes collector's eyes softened. Some people will be mad, it admitted, but the right people will understand. Oliver's chest tightened. The yes collector reached up and placed the tiny wooden sign in Oliver's hand. It was warm, steady, like the cooling stone, like the courage bell. The words kind no glowed faintly. Oliver stared at it. The yes collector jingled its necklace again, quieter this time. Tomorrow, it said softly, you practice. The next morning, Oliver walked into town. Immediately, voices called out, Oliver, can you help me carry this? Oliver's mouth opened automatically. Yes. He stopped. His heart thumped. He felt the old fear rise. If I don't help, they'll be mad. If they're mad, it's my fault. If it's my fault, I have to fix it. Oliver's fingers tightened around the tiny wooden sign in his pocket. He paused. He took one breath. Then he spoke. Quiet. Kind. I can do a little, Oliver said carefully, but not all of it. The person blinked, then nodded. Okay, that helps. Oliver's chest loosened. Another voice called, "Oliver, can you come settle our argument?" Oliver swallowed. He wanted to, he really did, but he was tired and his stomach felt tight. He touched the sign again, paused, then said, "I want to help, but I need a break." There was silence. Oliver's face warmed. Then the voice said, softer, "Okay." Oliver blinked. The world didn't end. No one screamed. No one hated him. Oliver walked on, and as he did, something strange happened. The air around him felt lighter, not because he was helping less, but because he wasn't disappearing inside everyone else's needs. Oliver still helped people. He still cared. But now he had something new, a fence around his garden, a way to keep his kindness from running out. The lantern glow softened. The town of white stones faded. The yes collector disappeared like a dream that didn't need to be chased. And suddenly, the fort was just the fort again. Blankets overhead, sleeping bags below, Granny T in her cozy chair. Oliver blinked slowly. His throat felt tight, like he had been holding something in all day. Granny T watched him gently. Oliver swallowed. "I don't want people to be mad at me," he whispered. Granny T nodded. "Of course you don't." Oliver's voice trembled. "But sometimes I feel tired and I still say yes." Granny T's eyes softened. "Then it's time to practice a kind no," she said. Oliver stared at her. Peyton whispered, "You're allowed." Roland murmured, barely audible, "Yeah." Jessie huffed, "You do too much." Oliver blinked, surprised. Jessie added quickly, less sharp this time, "I mean, you help a lot." Oliver's eyes stung. He nodded. Then he tried, voice small but brave. "I want to help," Oliver said, "but I need a break." The fort went quiet. Not bad quiet, good quiet. Granny T smiled like the lantern had just done exactly what it was meant to do. "That," she said softly, "was a very kind no." Oliver let out a slow breath, and his shoulders dropped like his body had been waiting for those words. The fort was quiet again, blankets above, sleeping bags below, and the soft sound of everyone breathing a little slower. Granny T turned the lantern down low until it looked like a tiny golden star. She reached out and gave the closest sleeping bag a gentle pat. "Good," she murmured. "That's better." Then, in her softest voice, "Close your eyes, my loves. You're safe. You're loved. You're home."